Hello, I'm Dana Maria Andrei. I'm here with Alain Cardon. He's a master coach in the International Coach Federation. So my question is, how is a coach different when he's coaching a team or an individual?
Mm-hmm.
Are there different techniques, different approaches?
It's interesting because the question assumes that the coach is different.
Yeah.
And I could just as well, we could just as well, how is the coach completely the same? I mean, the coach is the same person and coaching is the same approach.
Mm-hmm.
So I would answer by saying basically or fundamentally the coaching posture and the coach is the same.
Yeah.
In other words, one of the dangers is saying everything is different, let's make it different, and then reinvent coaching to rediscover that actually the same foundational principles and posture and attitude and way of accompanying the client is there. It's completely the same.
Yeah.
The only thing that changes really is that instead of having an individual person as a client, you have an individual team as a client, but it's the same individual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So coaching a team is not coaching a number of individuals in the same room that happen to be in the same team. That I would call more group coaching than team coaching. In other words, it's individual coaching in a group.
Interesting, yeah.
Okay? So I would coach one and then coach the other and coach another and coach. And some coaches do that in teams. In other words, they will have the team work on issues one after the other, but they'll mostly focus on one team player and then another team player.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be focused on the team players, coaching team players in a collective setting, but it's not coaching the team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're a systemic coach,
Yeah.
okay, or really what I would call a team coach, you will look at the team as one unique, undivided system.
I love this, yeah.
Okay, so you can start with the principle that if a team player leaves, he quits or is promoted, and another one replaces that player, you still have the same team.
Okay.
And they will probably function in very much the same way. Different roles will be adapted, so the team will continue functioning in the way it always functioned.
Mm-hmm.
So team coaching is not focused on individuals, changing individuals or evolving individuals. It's taking the whole system and helping the system evolve as a system. As a consequence, everyone in the system will grow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're focused on helping the system develops, and the consequence will be everyone in the system develops. If you're focused on developing each individual, you don't know that the system will develop. Okay? They may continue doing the same thing together, being frustrated about it, because each individual is hoping for something else, but they haven't changed their collective way of functioning together.
Mm-hmm.
So, to come back to what does the coach do? Well, the coach accompanies the team when the team works together.
Okay.
Now this is interesting because you can actually do in situation coaching. In other words, the team can run a meeting and you can coach the team while it runs its meeting, focused on achieving its goals. So you're actually coaching a system in situation, which is very rare in individual coaching.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, in individual coaching, you will have a client come to the coach's office or be on the phone with the coach, but the client is not doing his work. So you don't coach the client while the client is working in individual coaching. You're coaching the client who is talking about what he does in his work. It's as if I coached a tennis player by having them talk about their last game and talk about their next game, but never seeing them play. You understand? There's another individual coaching which is called shadow coaching. In other words, I will follow, be the shadow of a person while they work for a full half day. And every time there's a space, we can coach on what just happened or what is going to be the next meeting the person has and so on. This happens when people accompany salespeople on the field. You can come and see them sell, then coach them on what happened, what could happen in the next sale, go see another client, and then coach them. Okay? That's on-the-job coaching. Now, in team coaching, there is much more on-the-job coaching because you can actually accompany a team in their meetings, in every other meeting, be there, and coach them in spaces, keep coaching spaces between meeting sequences to have them work on what they did and what they can do differently in the next sequence and then delegate the sequence. And so you're doing much more shadow coaching, real coaching on the team while it works, as it usually works during meetings. So it's much more real in a way. But basically, to come back, the coach is the same coach. So it's the same attitude, it's the same accompanying, it's not bringing any solutions, it's not running the show, it's following the client while the client is doing the work. So I wouldn't say there's much difference between individual coaching and team coaching, except maybe in the coach's fears or habits. One key for me is, for instance, some people love interpersonal relationships. It's safer, it's more intimate. As soon as they're facing a group or a collective system, there's a lot more difficulties. Other people are much more at ease when they're facing a collective system, and they're much more scared in a personal relationship. They'd rather be in a group. Okay? So some people obviously are okay in both or have difficulty in both if we make the whole inventory. But I would say the main difference is actually how secure does the coach feel in his own posture when facing a collective system or when facing an individual system.
Beautiful. So as a coach, it's as long as you look at a group and as a team, as an individual, not as a number of individuals, but as an individual team.
It's one system.
It's just same posture and individual or individual team. It's same approach and same posture.
Yes.
Which is great for a coach to know and to go with that attitude. Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.